At the Port's February 17th meeting, commissioners agreed to move ahead with the request for developer interest in the Marina East and West properties. Back at their meeting in November 2025, they had talked about the ways in which a request for developer interest could provide new ideas for the property. Last week, Commissioner Thomas asked a few more questions.
I just had some questions for staff in regards to the intent of this, like the overall goal for the port. Like, what is the benefit of the port? Could staff just go into a little bit more detail of that?
Yeah, so I'm happy to answer that question. So the request for development interest for the Marina East and West, really the benefit to the port is getting an understanding of what is the market viability and what are potential development options for that site. And we're initiating it with the request for developer interest really in a way to gather information in a way that reduces risk for the port, but increases information gathering. And so it's not a formal procurement process. It's an exploratory and non-binding process that allows us to engage with the development community, again, get an understanding of what are some of those market realities, what are some possibilities, and then we'll get those responses back with concepts that are submitted back to the port, some kind of general high-level information on financials, and it allows the commission then to have a follow-up conversation on, hey, we really like this one specific idea or this one specific developer, and we'd like to proceed into an agreement. That would be an option. Or we'd like to invite a series of developers back to have more conversations about a range of different options. That'd be another option. Or the commission could also say, no, we're not interested in any of this. We don't want to proceed. That could be another option. And so it's really a low risk way, again, to get more information about that site, really in light of what we understand is the commission's priorities, to help us, look at what are some financially sustainable ways to create revenue, recognizing that with Marina East and West properties to date, we lose money for the port. So it's kind of a way to just initiate that process and look towards revenue generation, knowing that those leases are coming up at the end of the year.
As a reminder about what's in store potentially for the Marina East West buildings, let's look back at November 2025 and the fall planning discussion. At that time, port commissioners were reminded that the two buildings lose over $100,000 a year. Without toll revenues to take care of properties that are losing money, the port needs to find ways that as many properties as possible will generate positive cash flow for them. Here's what they talked about in November.
Similar story, looking at the opportunity for Marina East and West. You can almost see them out the window behind us here. Those buildings, Marina West is currently occupied by DMV. And then Marina East, there's one tenant in the building that's an acupuncture, assuming that we're kind of looking at a maximum build out of the site. Along with some maybe conservative estimates, given other comps in the area, but looking at, could generate up to $900,000 in annual lease revenue, just kind of as a starting point here early in the process. So substantial opportunity here, particularly given that right now, we're losing about $100,000 a year with the current buildings as they are. In the packet, you will see a number of pages with different renderings meant to demonstrate potential configurations of what a maximum build out of this site could be. So there's a couple images that show what it looks like if it were sort of one building, kind of maxing out the floor area ratio there. There's a couple different orientations. And then an option if there's two buildings. I want to be really clear that these are just to be conceptual, just for a starting point. Obviously, the magnitude of having one giant building would dwarf the marina. And I would just really upset everybody. And just to throw an idea out of what
I think would be amazing down there is some sort of thing like Victoria Kalama did. Like a marketplace that has
Oh
it
yeah,
has,
Port of Kalama, that's cool.
yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah, it has vendors, event spaces, pop-up markets.
Yeah, that's super
Of
cool.
its proximity to the marina with the boats and the sailing, and it's such, you know, it's calm waters, it's a nice area. Having it be a very, you know, a building obviously, but having it have a lot of public spaces and public breezeways and things for people to hang out on. And I definitely want to make sure that we maximize proximity to the water.
And I will just note on the renderings, while they show 4-story buildings, that's really maximizing the height limitations that we have with the zoning. I think in reality, you probably would be looking more at a 3-story building, might still be the same height of that structure, but kind of creates a more open ground floor feel as well. So
While also preserving the pathway.
yes, absolutely. And again, this was intended just to show maximum build out, not what we would maybe design or propose. But look,
You guys remember when we did the Barman? This is before 2 people. When we did the Barman, we put it out there. We put it out there to developer interest. We said, because we didn't know, because there was idea, maybe we could do this, maybe we could do this. But when it came down to it, we weren't doing anything. It's a developer that's going to do it. So we're not going to, we can tell them we need to preserve this trail. We need to, I mean, this is the aesthetic that's important to us. But when it actually comes down to what is getting built there, it's going to be up to the developer. And when we put it out there on the Barman property, it came back as it can only be a hotel, nothing else. Brought in developers to explain to us why, and they did. I'm like, okay, it makes sense. I think when we put this out there, we're going to get a lot of good feedback about what can or should or would best go there from a development standpoint. Be a lot of good info.
Your comment is actually kind of feeds into what my comments. So I'll just, it's a nice segue. I just had 2 things, which is one, I feel strongly that whatever goes in there needs to really enhance that public trail access. It's kind of like the same idea down at the Maritime. Like if we're gonna have development there, it needs to not just preserve a public right of way, it needs to make it better.
Yeah.
It needs to feel like a really welcoming space. It's enjoyable. And obviously that trail there is really key. It's going to tie into the pedestrian and bike on the bridge.
Yes.
So it needs to be kind of awesome.
Yeah.
The other thing is, just like Ben said, there's all these questions. You know, I could make a dream list of what I'd like, but what's really going to happen is we're going to put it out there and we're going to get a whole bunch of proposals, and then we're going to take our criteria and try to figure out what's best. So I'm thinking more in terms of criteria. Like my criteria are, does it promote economic development? Number 1. 2, what is the public benefit or quality of life aspect? Number 2. 3, income to the port to help support the waterfront. And number 4, aesthetics. Like simple, those are my criteria. But I just feel like we're at the stage now where, yeah, let's put it out there and say, who wants to do something here?
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe we get a proposal and we're like, can't do that. But maybe we get 4 or 5 and a couple of them are really cool.